Hey there, good evening, everybody. This is Nawaz Modi Singhania of the Body Art Fitness Centers going live with you again today with a super interesting guest. And before that, I just want to say hello to everyone who's here. Wow, so many of you, and so glad to see you all. Rohit, Rohan, Dylan, Zara, Zeenath, hi everyone. Rehman, hi everybody. Thank you for joining us. The very interesting guest that we have today is a lady by the name of Dimple Jangda of the Prana Healthcare Center. It's all about the Ayurvedic way and everything we really need to know in these days and times. She has a lot to say of her own personal experience, of her own professional experience, and therefore, without much ado, I would just allow Dimple Jangda in with us. As she gets in, I hope you've been all keeping well and safe. And hey, Dimple.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, I'm happy to be here and really nice to finally connect.
Yes, fabulous. I'm going to get my volume up. Okay, so Dimple, I was just introducing you to tons of viewers that we have in. Many have not been able to say hello to, but I'm watching you all come in. Please feel free to jump in with your questions at any point. If you, especially towards the end of it, if you have any questions. I did see earlier Sam, Priya, Akanksha, hi everyone, Dave, Nadia, Vicky, hi. Okay, so Dimple, because you are all about Ayurveda, we are very interested in knowing about the elephant in the room. Really, what is it that can help us these days prevent getting COVID through Ayurveda, and in the unfortunate incident of actually, picking up on the virus, what can we do to help ourselves and get out of it? And I ask you this both as a professional and as somebody who has personally been through it as well.
Thank you, Nawaz. It's so kind of you. So I've been researching, COVID recovery diet for the last year and a half, and our clinic has been treating a lot of chronic diseases, right from cancer to multiple sclerosis, paralysis, and gynecological disorders, musculoskeletal. With regard to COVID, for the last year, I've been saying to you guys that the virus enters through the nose and mouth and affects the throat and the chest. This, in Ayurvedic terms, is the kapha region of the body where earth and water is more dominant, which leads to accumulation of mucus, which, by the way, is a breeding ground for the virus. Now, kapha imbalances in the body usually causes cold, cough, allergies, sinus, asthma, hay fever, lung congestion, bronchitis, bronchial disorders, and it also leads to obesity, weight gain, diabetes, cholesterol, and such lifestyle diseases. Now, if you look at the virus, it attacks the kapha region of the body, number one. Number two, it breeds in mucus and water retention. Number three, it attacks patients with predisposed health conditions of asthma, diabetes, and obesity. They are the first victims, unfortunately, of the virus, and they have lower immunity to fight the virus compared to the rest of us. Now, I recently was asymptomatic COVID positive, and I recovered completely. I had zero clue, zero symptoms that I even had COVID, until I was about to take a flight and I did an RT-PCR test, luckily, to board the flight. So imagine how many people out there are COVID positive and they don't even know they're positive. They're healthy carriers of the virus. Now, how did I boost my immunity to the point that I was asymptomatic with minimum or no collateral damage to the body? Of course, I immediately went on a recovery diet to make sure that I'm immediately strengthening my body to fight that virus, because your body does get drained. Now, these are the first few tips. Kapha, by default, is sweet, sour, and salty in taste. So that means to reduce kapha and the mucus and the breeding ground for the virus, you must stop consuming sugar, which is a breeding ground for the virus, excessive sweet foods, You can have natural fructose like fruits in your diet. That is okay. But don't have any foods that have white sugar in it. That is rule number one. Completely give up on it. That's a breeding ground for the virus. Number two, salty snacks. You know, packaged foods have a lot of high salt content, which leads to water retention, and moisture is again a breeding ground for the virus inside your body. Your body is 75% water, 25% solid, but at the same time, you cannot have old water retention.
Sorry, we seem to be having some sort of network issue, Dimple, on your end. We can't hear you or see you. Well, you're frozen. So hoping that resolves quickly enough, but while she figures
In the
that
body,
out.
because that's where parasites, bile, and the virus itself mutates and starts multiplying.
At the
I hope
moment,
you can
yes.
hear me.
But not anymore.
Nawaz, I hope you can hear me.
At the moment, yes, but no, it's intermittent. It's coming and going.
I'm just waiting for the connection to dial back. I think
you want to dial back in?
But you can't see me, right?
Okay. Okay. Let's try and go forward. So guys, I think we're having trouble there, and Dimple's going to join us back, and I hope with better connectivity. I think these are things we're all struggling with these days. She had some very interesting things there to say about making sure that the passages remain clear for a whole lot of health reasons, and that includes, just recapping what she said, that includes making sure that we, yes, the humidity is removed, we get the sugar out of this, and she's going to be back to tell us more. A lot of disease prevention happens there, not only COVID, but for people who have diabetes, allergies, asthma, are susceptible to colds, coughs, fevers. Hey, that's the last thing we want these days, right? So yes, therefore, all of that is an issue, which is what Dimple had to say to us. Let's invite her back in and hope for better connectivity. Yeah.
Hi, I'm back.
Good. I hope it holds better.
Yes, it will.
Let's give
I've
it a
switched back
shot.
to connection. Yes. At the max, I think there might just be a little
Good.
time lag, but I've switched back to a stronger connection now.
Good, good. So, yes, take up from where you left off. You were talking about no sugar and why, and yeah, the rest of it.
The next thing that you avoid is salty foods, because you know, salty foods and snacks that have a high shelf life of 3 to 6 months have a very high salt content because that's a preservative. And this salt leads to unhealthy water retention, which is a breeding ground for the virus again. So you don't want water retention in your body, which leads to swelling, which leads to weight gain, which leads to a very unhealthy immune system, because old water again leads to a breeding ground for parasites, worms, and the virus especially. So cut out sweet foods. Excessively sweet foods made from white sugar is out. Salty snacks is out. And sour foods. When I say sour foods, it means foods that weaken your digestive fire, like excessive lemon, by the way, is not good for health. You can have 1 shot of lemon per day, but not more than that. Tomatoes, tamarind, and nightshade vegetables also weaken your digestive fire, and no carbonated drinks at all. So these are the don'ts. Coming to the do's, The 3 tastes that you must incorporate in your diet is bitter, astringent, and pungent. Now, bitter foods are basically foods that detoxify, deworm your body. And they are basically anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. So these include foods like well-cooked leafy vegetables like spinach, celery, cilantro, moringa, curry leaves. Karela or the bitter gourd, believe me, is the best detoxifying vegetable there is. You must incorporate it in your diet. And even have bitter spices in your diet like fenugreek, which is called methi seeds, and ajwain, which is called carom seeds. Right, Nawaz?
Yeah, absolutely. You're with us, yeah. Okay, great.
All right.
Thank
and
you.
Then,
go ahead.
Then comes the astringent and pungent foods, if I might add. Astringent foods are basically foods that reduce water retention in your body and help in tightening the tissues, muscles, and nerves, and also improve your collagen. You get beautiful skin from astringent foods, which includes foods like red apple, green apple, pomegranate, berries, cherries, strawberries. And even having hummus or chickpeas, chana in your diet is an excellent way of improving astringent quality, which also helps in virus. Then comes pungent foods. Pungent foods are basically foods that make your nose, eyes, and mouth water. They're basically sharp tasting foods like onion, garlic, then capsicum, radish. Also, pungent spices like cinnamon, cardamom, clove, ginger, pepper, star anise, and turmeric. So go big on bitter, astringent, and pungent foods.
Super. Thank you. That's all on the food front. Any other tips?
Yes. Coming to COVID recovery
Reference
diet, there are 3
COVID,
things that
yeah.
you must keep in mind. What? Yeah. So with COVID, there are 3 things that are very critical. Number 1, make sure you're in a well-ventilated room. It is true that you have to quarantine yourself so that you're not at risk to friends and relatives. But when you're quarantining, make sure there are big windows. Choose a room that has cross ventilation, because oxygen is very important to keep your lungs active. Do a lot of pranayam every day in the morning, but do not exercise and sweat out excessively, because that might cause exhaustion. You need your energy to fight the virus. Pranayam for 15 to 20 minutes is enough. Anulom Vilom, Kapalabhati is enough. Make sure, number 2, to get a lot of sunlight. Vitamin D is extremely important to boost your immunity against the virus and to also kill the dead cells. Sunbathing every day for 20 minutes is compulsory between 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. when the sun is at the peak and the sun's rays are really hot and warm. Even 10 to 20 minutes is very effective in killing the dead cells in the body, because the COVID virus mutates and can come back from the dead for a relapse. So you don't want that. That's number 2, sun. Number 3, ensure to stay hydrated. Dehydration is one of the biggest risks to COVID recovery. Make sure sunlight, air, and dehydration is taken care of. And then ensure to have a lot of French beans in your diet. Methi ka thepla is excellent. And have curry. Curry is basically yogurt with water cooked with little turmeric and curry leaves. These are good for enhancing the good bacteria. And the methi ka thepla especially is a great way to keep the carbs well in your body. And the methi is excellent for killing the virus. Ensure to increase your intake of protein. Protein is very important because the virus attacks your lungs and also reduces your immunity and strength. So you need protein to build new immunity and strength. So focus on these little things when recovering from COVID, mild to moderate symptoms.
Thank you. You've given us a lot of very easy, practical tips and things that we can do from home, things we find in our kitchen, etc. So that's fabulous. Yes. Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Moving a little bit ahead of COVID, although that has been top of mind, because everybody is cooped up indoors these days and should not be going outside and are not feeling safe to go outside, how do you maintain yourself? How do you maintain, your skin, your hair? Any tips? Any small hacks? Ayurvedic hacks?
Okay, number 1 hack is be like Nawaz, invest in your health, because if you're healthy from inside, your skin automatically starts reflecting the health from inside out. Remember, the skin is a visual reflection of what's happening inside your body. It's a visual reflection of your organ health. If you're not detoxifying and sweating every single day, no matter how many expensive creams and lotions you use, it's not going to help the skin. Sweating out is the number one thing. Number two, good exercise. Number three, lots of sleep, because remember, the body repairs damaged tissues, muscles, and nerves between 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., which is the time for deep REM sleep. Ensure to sleep before 10 or 11. I struggle too sometimes to sleep before 11, but ensure that between 11 to 2, you're fast asleep. That's one important thing. Sweating out is something that I love doing. I would even stand under the sun and sweat out for 20 minutes. There are some do-it-yourself recipes that I would like to recommend for you all to have at home. Did the connection snap again? Am I back?
All good?
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, there are some recipes I'd like to give you, especially because you're at home, you can't visit a parlor. Let's begin with hair. How to get straight, beautiful, dark, rich hair at home. This is my favorite mask. Take yogurt. Yogurt is loaded with active bacterial enzymes. It's excellent for any kind of bacterial fungal infection on your scalp. It also moisturizes your hair. Take 2 to 3 teaspoons of yogurt. I recommend half a cup if you have long hair. Add 2 to 3 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice to it. Lemon helps in cleansing bacteria and also cleansing your hair follicles of any kind of shampoo, conditioner residue that's left behind, right? That's one of the main reasons for hair fall. Number 3, add 1 big teaspoon of honey. Honey actually locks the moisture in your hair and prevents it from dehydration, and it also strengthens hair follicles and prevents hair loss. Number 4, add 2 teaspoons of olive oil. Olive oil is excellent for smoothing dry, frizzy hair. And again, it cleanses the scalp. It also moisturizes the scalp and increases blood circulation. So I'm going to take yogurt, lemon juice, honey, and olive oil. Make a good hair mask. It's extremely creamy and rich. Apply it, leave it on for 20 to 40 minutes. Do hair mask only when the sun is bright and shining. Never do it after sunset. Never do it on a rainy monsoon day, because it's only going to make you cause a cold or kapha imbalances. Wash it with a mild shampoo. In fact, you don't even need a shampoo or conditioner after this, because this is a cleansing mask by itself. You can also add strawberry to this mask. If you have dull hair, it will add shine and brightness to your hair. If you have thin hair, you can add an entire banana to add volume. But when you use banana in your hair mask, you need at least 2 hair wash to remove the stickiness. But don't be aggressive with the hair wash. And you can also add a pinch of baking soda if you tend to have oily hair. So these are some basic hair mask recipes that I hope you guys will start practicing at home without waiting to spend thousands of rupees at the parlor.
Sounds lovely, and I'm going to try that really soon. Why is it that you said you must do it during sun-up hours only?
See, you know what yogurt and honey, all of these ingredients do? At least honey is warm. Yogurt, lemon, and olive oil, they drop your body temperature by at least like 2 to 3 degrees Celsius when you do a hair mask. You'll feel cooler. But if the sun is up, it prevents mucus from getting accumulated near the sinus region, which is the body's defense mechanism when it feels cold, right? So that prevents you from catching a cold, cough, allergy, sinus, because you cannot afford to catch a cold during the season, during the pandemic, because that's a breeding ground for the virus. So always do it when the sun is up.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking at people talking in, a lot of them. Somebody's just asked if olive oil is bad for the face.
Olive oil actually has an astringent quality and it can dry up your skin. That is true. But there is a way of using olive oil for your skin. You know what you should use it for? You should use it for exfoliating. Use olive oil or coconut oil or ghee or sesame oil on your face. Massage your face well. Make it very oily and lubricant. Okay, it should be very oily and greasy. And then take sugar crystals with your sticky fingers. Sugar is only good for external use, not internal use. Take sugar crystals on your sticky, oily fingers and start scrubbing your face in circular motions. Only do this when your face is fully lubricated and oily. It's excellent for exfoliating dead skin cells. But don't leave it on for more than 15-20 minutes.
Super, sounds great. Thank you. And we have a ton of other people who are coming in and saying hello. I've got Raju, Ritu, Gautam, Tej, Salman, some others while you were talking have come in, Dylan, Amir, Rekha, Arman, Atul, Nitin, Raga, and there are a ton more that I'm sorry I'm not able to say hello to, but you know I'm seeing all of you, and great to have you all in, great to have all your questions in. So let's continue with what we're talking on out here. Okay, so thank you for that. That was great. Anything else on the skin in terms of issues like celluloid, stretch marks, anything that anyone can do to help those?
You know, for celluloid and stretch marks, it happens due to accumulation of water in those areas. You know, when you put on weight quickly and you lose weight very quickly, due to the fluctuation, the skin starts stretching. Now, remember, it also happens because the collagen in your skin is a little weak. You need to increase your intake of astringent fruits like berries, cherries, strawberries, red apple, green apple, so that the collagen is healthy. That's number one. Number two, to strengthen collagen from external use, you must lubricate and massage the celluloid area with either coconut oil, almond oil, sesame oil, or even ghee if you can. Please massage the area where there is celluloid. Number three is doing dry brushing. Dry brushing is excellent for increasing blood circulation. In fact, it's one of the ancient Ayurvedic methods for stimulating blood circulation. Ensure the brush bristles are made from coconut fiber. That's very healthy. That also prevents any kind of, you know, blood clots or blood water retention in those areas. That's another thing. Number four, you can also make a coffee sugar body scrub. Leftover coffee, mix it with sugar crystals and do a nice uptan for yourself. That also helps in releasing celluloid and scars, stretch marks.
Super. That's very helpful. Thank you. I'm seeing a lot of questions come in for you, Dimple. People are asking for lightening of pigmentation. Somebody says, I don't smoke and I yet have very dark lips. Any reaction to that?
Dhriti, let me tell you, and Nawaz, let me tell you, I suffered from the same problem many years ago. I had very dark lips despite not smoking. Now, that usually happens because of low blood circulation. One, what you can do is massage your lips with ghee every night before going to sleep. Okay, that's a great lip balm. First of all, it moisturizes, makes your lips more supple, and just massaging with ghee increases blood circulation to your lips and makes it pink. That is one, ghee massage for your lips. In the mornings, once a week on Sunday, you can massage your lips with almond oil and again take sugar crystals and scrub your lips to remove dead skin cells. Scrubbing, by the way, is a great way of increasing blood circulation. It rushes blood towards the surface and makes your lips more pink and red. That's the best thing you can do. You can also take juicy strawberries once in a while and do a nice brush for your lips. Just take half a strawberry and brush your lips with that. That adds color and that also lubricates your lips well.
Super. Great ideas out there. Good. Thank you. Please share anti-aging homemade remedies is the next question I'm seeing, but there are many others. So, yes, tell us anything that...
Let's understand aging, where aging comes from, aging of the organs and aging of the collagen, where the skin starts becoming dry, rough, and the collagen starts wrinkling up because it's very thin, right? Thin skin leads to wrinkling and it shows aging. What you must do is drink 1 glass of warm water with 1 teaspoon of ghee every day in the morning, empty stomach. It detoxifies your body and lightens your organs. So that itself reduces the aging process of your organs. It pulls the heavy metals out of your body. Second, if you can massage your face with a rejuvenating serum-based oil that has some herbs. Example, Kumkumadi Tailam is one of the best oils in Ayurvedic formulations. It has saffron and at least 30 to 40 essential herbs. Just put 1 drop at bedtime before going to sleep. It tightens and strengthens your collagen. That's another anti-aging method. If you don't have access to these because of the lockdown, just massage your face with ghee twice a day. 1 hour before taking the morning shower and before going to bed. But ensure to wipe off the excess grease with a tissue paper so that you don't end up collecting dirt and causing pimples or acne.
Super. Thank you. We have so many other questions, but I'm going to address them a little later because I don't want to run out of time and not be able to ask you the critical things that I really want to. So, yes, guys, I'm making a note of your questions, but I'm going forward at the moment. What about gut health? It's a huge issue. How do we manage our gut health?
Yes.
You have already said a few things in this talk, but anything additionally?
Okay, remember the gut is the most important part for mental, emotional, and physical health because gut bacteria and the balance in the gut flora is directly linked to mental, emotional wellness as proven by modern science, written by Ayurveda 5,000 years ago. Now, these are some essential things that you do for the gut. First of all, do not combine foods that are toxic that causes the gut to start getting ruptured, because the gut is extremely sensitive. It's basically cells held tightly together like this. It's not a skin, it's not a bag. It's a thinner structure in your body. It's thinner than a hair strand. So you have to be very careful with what you put in your mouth. These are the things you do and don't do. Have a lot of raw fruits in your diet, but never mix fruits with milk or yogurt, because they become a toxic combination and they deteriorate the skin in the gut region. Okay, so they cause damages to the gut area when you mix it together. Have fruits raw, eat it alone or leave it alone. That's the rule with fruits. Number 2, vegetables. Always ensure to have steamed or well-cooked vegetables. Do not have raw vegetables, because they tend to have a lot of parasites, especially in a tropical country like India. And that stresses your gut out. You don't want to have the gut working overtime. Number 3, lentils, grains, and pulses. The best way to consume them is to pre-soak them for 2 to 4 hours, because lentils, grains, and pulses have an outer coating, a layer, which is a protective natural packaging given by nature to preserve its shelf life. That is not easy for your body to break down. So do not just directly cook lentils, always pre-soak them for 2 to 4 hours. In fact, for cancer patients, we recommend pre-soaking for 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. Number 4, we're done with fruits, vegetables, grains, and pulses. Number 4, never heat honey. Do not cook honey. It becomes poisonous. You can have honey only raw, because it's medicine, not food. Do not put it in your cookies, your cakes, your green teas and black coffees. It's actually poisonous when it starts solidifying and becomes difficult for you to digest and pass down. That's number 4. Number 5, have a lot of good fermented foods in your diet. Kombucha, kefir, sorkat has become very popular nowadays. But to be honest, that's already available in your kitchen. Buttermilk is the best fermented food for your gut without being extreme. Yogurt is considered one of the heaviest foods in Ayurveda, which is very difficult to digest. So I don't recommend yogurt for everyone, especially for people with hyperacidity, acid reflux. It causes a burning sensation. Instead, have buttermilk in your diet with some spices and condiments like cumin powder, pink salt, cilantro. Also give a ghee ka tadka, which has a little hing, asafoetida, some mustard seeds, ginger, and chili in it, and garnish with curry leaves again. With condiments, it becomes easier for you to break down the complex bacterial enzymes in yogurt, and the water stops the fermentation process. So you're consuming good bacteria, but it doesn't ferment inside your body. Another thing you can have is idli, dosas, dhoklas. You can even have fermented rice. These are foods we consume on a Sunday morning. It's literally the staple diet on Sunday morning, because after eating a fermented food, you feel like having a good nap. So have fermented foods at least once a week. That's another way to enhance your gut bacteria.
Super. And that takes care of all your bloating, acidity, all of that?
This enhances your gut flora. For bloating, remember, if you're going to eat food very quickly and not chew it well, you have to chew your food for 36 times. Number 1, don't have fruit juices and vegetable juices. Instead, chew your fruits raw and have steamed vegetables, because that creates that much saliva in your mouth, which goes to the stomach and aids digestion. But there's another thing you can do. Having CCF every day. You basically take just 500 ml of water, add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 teaspoon of fennel seeds, 1 teaspoon of coriander seeds, 1 cardamom, a pinch of carom seeds. Boil it and bring it down to 250 ml. Filter this and drink this empty stomach. This boosts your digestion and prevents gases. If you have acidity, you can soak 1 teaspoon of sabja seeds in a bottle of water and drink infused sabja seed water throughout the day. That reduces the hyperacidity and acid reflux. And stay away from oily and spicy foods, obviously.
Thank you. Very useful. Now, you've not recommended, I mean, we've only been talking about foods as medicine, which is lovely, which is what I love about what our conversation is, in the direction our conversation is going. I love that. But my question is that when it comes to Ayurvedic medication, yes, there is some skepticism because of the purported heavy metal found in it, etc. What do you have to say on that?
Okay, when it comes to Ayurveda medicines, because I run an Ayurvedic clinic, I have spent a lot of time researching medicines that have heavy metals. It's a separate science called Bhashma medicine, okay, which has mercury in it for a very specific set of diseases. Now, this cannot be abused for daily use. This is only given under Ayurvedic supervision for a very specific set of diseases. Ayurvedic medicines, 99% do not have heavy metals except for lohaswam, which has iron for those who have extremely low iron levels in the body, which causes, giddiness and dizziness. For them, we give lohaswam, and for diabetic patients. That's the only medicine that I know of which has heavy metal, but none of the medicines. There are some Ayurvedic medicines or herbs that you can start either making it at home or sourcing it from an organic supplier, like neem capsules, Philanthus nururi or bui amla capsules, guduchi, brahmi, and shatavari and ashwagandha. These are some basic herbs that you can buy in the capsule form or in the raw form. Having them will boost your immunity against COVID. That is number one. Number two, because these medicines are all anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal. Number two, if you do, God forbid, contract the COVID virus, please do not get scared. If you have mild to moderate symptoms, you may not have access to the doctor. What you can do is source Δક્ષUR ΣDΔ. It's a medicine approved by the Ayush Ministry for mild to moderate symptoms. It was used for curing malaria in the 1970s. And in the recent clinical studies that they conducted, they found that patients who were COVID positive turned negative within 5 to 7 days of consuming this medicine. So it's proven, it's tested, and the government is going to go on a new campaign to distribute these medicines in the tier 2, tier 3 towns for free, hopefully. Δક્ષUR ΣDΔ, it's available on our Instagram page. There's another medicine called Ayush 64 tablets. It's loaded with all these essential herbs like neem, ashwagandha, guduchi, brahmi, amla. You can have that. You can also take 1 teaspoon chyawanprash, which has amla, Indian gooseberry, that has anti-carcinogenic, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, antiviral properties. If it can help you prevent cancer, it can definitely help you prevent this virus. You can just take 1 teaspoon of chyawanprash with half glass of warm milk early in the morning and haldi doodh at bedtime. These are basic herbs that I'm recommending. Besides that, you must meet an Ayurvedic Vaidya before consuming any other medicines. Please do not buy it off the counter or just because you read it on Google. Do not do that. These are potent herbs that can have other effects and damages on your body without supervision.
Wow. Fabulous content. Thank you so much, Dimples. Many of you are asking that you hope this video is going to be saved and loaded onto IGTV on Instagram, Facebook, etc. It of course is. I'm just letting you know, so you can always refer back to it also. Although we really value all your questions, and though I'm not saying much about it right now, it's because I'm saving it for later if we have the time. So let's run through quickly so as not to run out of time. Dimple, tell us how we can make our bodies more alkaline in general, healthier, cancer-free, in that sense.
I love that question. You know what? There are a lot of water filter companies that started launching expensive water filters that alkalize your body. I'm not a big fan because Mother Nature has provided us free ingredients to alkalize your body without an added cost, and they're extremely delicious. The 2 things that you can do early in the morning, empty stomach. Number 1, tender coconut water. It alkalizes your body 100% and helps you thrives in an acidic environment. Number 2, you can take lemon juice squeezed in warm water, consume this empty stomach. I do not recommend lemon warm water for anyone who has musculoskeletal disorders like osteoporosis, arthritis, rheumatism, spondylosis, and especially if you have body pain, please do not have lemon warm water. It causes more vata imbalances and pain. So these are the 2 ingredients. I love tender coconut water. Remember to have the malai, the soft coconut meat, also when you drink tender coconut water. You can avoid it if you're obese or heavy or overweight. You can avoid that. Another thing that alkalizes your body is vegetables like carrots and cucumber. You can steam them and have them just before lunch. They also alkalize your body and prevent the environment from getting excessively acidic. Number 3, when having your teas and coffees, please do not cook milk in it. It becomes acidic. Always make your black tea and black coffee and then add milk separately into the cup. That's a great way of keeping your body healthy.
Fabulous tips. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, could you tell us, or is this not a valid question, how through Ayurveda can we manage a positive mindset? Because these days we all really need it. Even the most sound, solid, positive of us really need to watch our mental health as well, right? And ensure that we're there for ourselves to begin with so that we can be there for all the others that we can take care of. Any particular Ayurvedic way of doing it?
Oh, there are so many things in Ayurveda for mental health. I'll tell you why. Because Ayurveda believes that all diseases have a psychosomatic origin, and it has been proven by modern science, and we all know it's true. It begins in the mind, because the mental shelf life of diseases is longer than the physical shelf life of diseases. So what do you do to keep your mind calm? You follow the circadian rhythm of the sun, rise with the sun, set with the sun, try to wake up 45 minutes before sunrise if possible. If you are unable to wake up that early, at least sleep with your curtains open, because when the sun rises, you're soaking up all the vitamin D in the first 1 hour, 2 hours of the sunrise. Wake up 45 minutes before sunrise. Engage in Ayurvedic dinacharya rituals like oil pulling, gandusha or gargling of the throat, brushing the teeth with a bitter toothpaste, scraping the tongue with a copper tongue cleaner, and then steaming with few drops of eucalyptus oil. Doing nasyam, which is introducing medicine through the nose, 1 drop. You can even introduce ghee through the nose after doing steam. That also helps in preventing dehydration, dryness, and roughness of the neurological system, which can trigger anxiety. And ensuring to eat your food when the sun is at the peak, small breakfast in the morning, big lunch in the afternoon, small dinner before sunset. Avoid eating food after sunset if possible. If not, just stick to soups and steamed salads, and try to go to bed before 10 or 11 p.m. because a deep REM sleep between 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. is when the body repairs all damaged tissues, muscles, and nerves, and detoxifies the organs and restores them back to good health, which helps your mind stay calm. The mind is overworked when the organs are overworked. So eat light, eat local, eat seasonal, and live global.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Many, many, many gems there. So I'm so glad we are uploading this for everyone, because I'm going to be going through it myself and yes, picking up on your tips. Dimple, do tell me, what are the couple most common myths in Ayurveda that you'd like to dispel? Just one or two.
I'm so glad you're asking that question. Number 1, Ayurveda slow. Not true. Ayurveda, in fact, saved me from urticaria, and I recovered in record 2 weeks, which happened due to food poisoning, which can happen to anyone, versus taking any kind of strong drugs and steroids, antibiotics, where I'm just suppressing the disease and only curing the symptoms. That doesn't work. Remember, Ayurveda goes and attacks the disease at the root cause level. So it's not at all slow. It requires patience and commitment from you, and you will see results from day 3 if you're committed. That's number 1. Number 2, Ayurvedic medicines have heavy metals. Like I said, that's not true. That's a blanket statement. That's only for the Bhashma medicine, which is done under very strong doctor supervision for very specific diseases. So you can be rest assured that Ayurveda, has heavy metals. Number 3, Ayurveda is old-fashioned. Well, look at Nawaz and I. We don't look old-fashioned to you, and we practice Ayurveda. So get up, get out of your bed, and start incorporating Ayurveda as a way of life, not something that you go to when everything else has failed. It's something that you practice every single day.
Super. Thank you. Thank you for that, Dimple. Now to take on some of the questions that people have been asking us on this chat out here. Okay, so question 1. Is hair straightening bad for hair health? How can you protect it?
It is very bad for your health, your hair health, because obviously, straighteners include using a lot of excessive heat, right? Which is going to damage your hair strands. But if you're doing hair mask with oils in it, at least once or twice a week, every single month, continue doing this for several months. One-time hair straightening doesn't cause that much damage. You can repair and reverse the damaging step. Doing a lot of hair masks and oil massage for your hair is very important if you want to reverse the damage, but it does cause damage. I probably straighten my hair once or twice a year if there is an event, but because of using hair mask, by the way, the hair becomes straight naturally.
Oh, really? That's good to know. And Dimple did talk about what kind of hair mask and the ingredients earlier, so you guys can look that up in this video as well. Super. Next question was, Dimple, what is your diet?
Let me tell you what's my diet, okay? First of all, I love ensuring that half my day has something to do with nature. I love long walks under the trees because the trees communicate with the cells in your body and start repairing your body. That's number 1. I love walking in nature. I, in fact, take trips away from Bombay City almost every week to get some nature, some clean air, and a lot of sunlight and vitamin D. These are my two most important things, vitamin D and clean air. Number 3, when I wake up in the morning, I do all my Ayurvedic Δક્ષUR rituals like oil pulling, gargling, brushing, scraping, steaming, a nice bath and an uptan or a face pack for my face, or at least a face scrub made with kitchen ingredients. And I take tender coconut water and a big bowl of fruits in the morning. I eat brunch directly, not a breakfast, at 12 o'clock or 12:30. It's a big meal usually. I eat everything I want. I have theplas, I have carbs, I have proteins and vegetables in equal proportions, 1/3, 1/3. And in the evenings, I love having soups and salads. So there's one big meal of fruits and tender coconut water, and one big meal of just soups and salads.
Super.
And no dairy products.
Well,
that.
Yeah. And if you get hungry in between, what do you snack on?
Makhana is my favorite snack. There are at least 6 to 10 flavors that I've recorded recently for Amazon podcast. There's peri peri, there's wasabi, there is tikka masala, there is chocolate flavor, there is just salted and turmeric flavor. Go big on makhanas. It's a great source of protein. And you can also have chikki, peanut chikki. You can also have chana, roasted chana. It's a great source of protein. It's a great source of energy, especially if you love going to the gym. And you can also have, corn. I love corn on the cob with a little lemon and some salt and pepper on it. That's one of my favorite snacks.
Super. Thank you. What exactly is oil pulling? You mentioned it earlier. What is oil pulling?
It's one of the most ancient Ayurvedic rituals that helps you detoxify your body on a daily basis. Now, your mouth is home for billions of bacteria and virus, right? You need to cleanse your mouth every day in the morning because you eat food continuously, which leads to the virus to breed and the bacteria to multiply. Oil pulling, also called gandusha, is taking 1 teaspoon of sesame oil, preferably, if not coconut oil if you don't have it. Number 3 is Arimedadi Thailam, one of the best formulations in Ayurveda. It's called Arimedadi Thailam, which I love. You just take 1 teaspoon and swish it around in your mouth, left to right, for 5 to 15 minutes. The longer you do, the faster you'll be able to flush out all kinds of bacteria and virus from your mouth. That helps in removing dental plaque, cavities, caries, strengthening your dental and gum health, and also helps in reducing mucus accumulation in the sinus region. The mucus starts dripping into your throat and you spit it out. And it also helps in preventing anxiety and overthinking because of the oil in your mouth. But ensure not to swallow the oil, ensure it doesn't enter the throat, and ensure to follow it with gargling of hot water, turmeric and salt.
Super. Thank you for all the detail. Are there any foods which can not be eaten together?
Yes. Number 1 is fruits and milk. Banana milkshake, apple milkshake is a strict no-no. The only fruit that mixes with milk without causing a toxic combination is mangoes. Mangoes is the only thing that mixes with milk. You can make amras and add a little milk if you want cold milk. You can make mango milkshake, but apple banana milkshakes is out. Berries and cherries and smoothies are out. Yogurt reacts with fruits. Do not mix yogurt with fruits. And vegetable fruit smoothies that people do, just because you're not adding milk and yogurt, it doesn't make it safe. Reason being, vegetables and fruits also react with each other. So do not mix milk, fruits, vegetables, yogurts in any permutations and combinations. This is the first thing you avoid. Number 5 is honey. Do not heat honey. These are the combinations that you must pay maximum attention to. Oh, there's another thing I might add. Mixing fruits with grains and pulses. Oats with berries and cherries makes a great Instagram picture. Please do not do it. Fruits get digested within an hour. Grains and pulses require 3 to 6 hours in the stomach. So it only pushes the undigested grains into the small and large intestine, thus causing bloating and gases. So don't mix your grains with fruits.
Thank you. Thank you. Many more hellos and many more people in. Rishad, Tina, Sarah, Rahul, Zivan, Vicky, Rehman, just people have been watching coming in. Neha, Yogi, Salim, Parag, Farooq, Snigdha, hi, and Rishabh, and yes, thank you for joining us all. Another question which came in on the chat was, does sleeping in the aircon cause mucus?
Yes, it does. It does. Remember, the aircon brings recycled air, number one. Number two, it artificially cools down the temperature of the house. It's not advisable to use the aircon at all. Of course, in offices and clinics and theaters, you have no choice, use an aircon. But when you're at home, just cool your room for 20 minutes using the aircon, immediately switch it off, and after 20 minutes, open up the windows. You want well-ventilated air because it does lead to accumulation of mucus, which again is a breeding ground for all kinds of bacteria, virus, and germs.
Thank you for that. And even in the summer, my God.
Yeah,
we're in
in
the
fact,
summer now.
Oh yes, I'll tell you what I love about the summer. I just returned from a 5-day trip in Alibag, where we were staying in the tent. The tent is literally like a sauna in the middle of the day. And 20 minutes inside the tent, I was soaked in sweat. But what it does is it detoxifies your body by eliminating toxins through your pores in the form of sweat. Then go in for a nice swim if you have access to a pool. If not, go take a nice cold shower. Sweating is a boon because it's a natural detoxifying mechanism of the body.
Thank you. Thank you. The next question is, can ashkar be taken for acidity?
I would not recommend ashkar juice because, like I said, vegetable juices only stress your gut out, number one. Number two, ashkar has been overabused. It should always be cooked in the form of a vegetable. You can also make a paratha from it, from an grated ashkar if you want, but do not take it in the form of juice.
Thank you. Okay, and I think we're kind of all done for today and also kind of out of time. I just want you, Dimple, please to share with us your social media handles. People would want to know how to reach out to you. So if you could just let us know.
My handle is Dimple Jangda, Dimple Jangda. That's my social media handle. My clinic is run by the handle Prana by Dimple Jangda, Prana by Dimple Jangda. You can also look me up on the website www.pranabydimplejangda if you need to book a consultation or need to do any kind of Ayurvedic Panchakarma treatments. We treat chronic diseases. We're experts at that. And we're experts at gut health. I can assure you, you'll have the very best. And I would urge you all to consider studying Ayurveda. It's just a 10-hour commitment of a masterclass. I'd love Nawaz to try it whenever you have time. I know you have a very busy schedule. We'd love to send you a complimentary link just for you to give us a judgment on what you think is good about the course.
I would love that. Please do.
Will do. This was such a pleasure.
I will also be putting on Dimple's link, social media hashtags, links, etc. on this post that we will be posting out. So you guys can pick it up from there as well. Dimple, thank you so much for taking the time. This has been very enlightening, great session with you, and we will certainly all be referring back to it for a variety of things. So can't thank you enough. Stay safe, you and everyone out there. And yes, be well, and thank you once again. All the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Lots of love and light.
See ya. Thanks. Bye.